Hello everybody, welcome to my review, overview, thoughts, concerns, comments on Inktober 2018. So this is the second year I've done Inktober and done it to completion. I did all 31 days. This year I did them pretty much on the right day. I think a couple days I got ahead or behind, but for the most part I did them on the day of. This is the book that I did them in. I'm going to go through these and just give you some brief thoughts on them. Sorry if the lighting is not great. I need to work on my lighting, but here was day one. Now I used my own prompt list for Inktober, and I made this up. If you're not familiar, obviously you found your way to the YouTube channel, but if you're not familiar, Creature Science Illustrated is normally where I draw and talk about creatures, whether they be real, usually they're real, but they could be mythological as well. And then there is a Facebook group, the Creature Science Illustrated Facebook group, where I invite people to come and share and observe artwork. So here's the list. This is day one, was Spider, October 1st. And the first day I went ahead, I did this one and just regular black ink, but then I added some color with Copic markers. I didn't add a lot of color this year. I spent a lot less time this year than I did last year on each piece, but this is a jumping spider and I was pretty happy with it when all was said and done. All right, day two was the haunted house, which was something I don't normally draw. I don't draw a lot of architectural structures, but again, overall, I was pretty happy. My cat's playing with stuff, so I apologize for that. I was pretty happy with this one. It's pretty simple, pretty basic. I kind of had fun drawing it just because it was a little bit out of the ordinary. Day two, haunted house. Day three was the witch. Now, I gotta say, there are parts of this I'm pretty happy with, and parts of this, I'm meh on. So I really like the face. I think the face came out pretty good. The hat's all right. The rest of it, it's okay. It's all right. But what I did like on this one is I was starting to get a little bit more free and loose with playing with lines to create shading and texture and that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Day three, witch. Day four, now this was my favorite up to this point, which is Voodoo. And this guy was just fun to draw. I think voodoo dolls are kind of easy to draw, so that made me feel a little bit more confident about it. I went ahead and added this sort of board wooden background. I actually colored this digitally, which is on the, I believe there's a video for that on the channel. But here it is, in its original black on white paper, the voodoo doll. Day four of Inktober 2018. Now, so here's what I did. I did a few digital ones, so hopefully this is showing up. If not, go over to Creature Science Illustrated, the Facebook page, and I think this one might be on YouTube, but you'll be able to see this a little bit brighter because it is a digital piece. It printed a little darker, but this is Bad Robot. Day five, Bad Robot. And then right behind that, let me just put this down here so you guys can see it. Don't look at this one yet. No spoilers now. This is Mermaid, and I decided to make this one a little bit of an environmental piece. I am not your mermaid. Kind of a little commentary on the real scary things going on these days, like plastics in the ocean and other litter. So I really like this one. I like mermaids. I like the idea of drawing mermaids, but usually when I do, I'm not happy with them. But this mermaid, I was pretty pleased with. I really like the way this one came out. Oh, am I quoting Jazza? Yeah. If you don't know who Jazza is, go check out his YouTube channel. He's amazing. All right, Monster Book. Now this was kind of interesting. I wish I would have added some hair or fur to this, looking at it now. But I enjoyed this one. It was a little different, again, kind of motivated by, or inspired, I should say, by the Harry Potter book, their book they used to study creatures or something. Now, the next day, this was day 7, so we did 5 and 6, 7. Now, on day 8, the prompt was bat, but I wanted to draw a cat with bat wings, and I kind of failed miserably at first. So this was my first attempt. It didn't make it to anywhere because I started to color it with Copics and I used way too dark of a color and I lost all the details of the face. And I got frustrated and annoyed and I decided I would just start over again. So then I did, and I came up with this. And again, I got this far and I just wasn't digging it. I just wasn't happy with this bat cat. So scrapped it. This is the only one I did this on. I did some rough sketches on a lot of them, but this one is the only one I really just totally scrapped. And I came up with this. This is very simple, but I really like the kind of stylized look of it. So this is day 8. The prompt was bat. I put a question mark there because it's obviously a cat with bat wings. A cat bat. A bat cat? Cabat? I don't know. Anyway. The next day was Wicked Fairy Tales, and again, this one I did digitally, so look for the larger version of it. If you go to the Facebook page, you will see it there, as well as, I believe, this one is probably also on YouTube. I just don't remember. Underneath here, you see this. This is just me. I drew Simon's Cat. If you're not familiar with Simon's Cat, it's an awesome YouTube channel, a little animated cat. And I just covered up because it's just Simon's Cat. Everybody's seen Simon's Cat. We know what he looks like. It was all right, but not really. I don't know why I drew him. I mean, I love Simon's Cat. I got to draw him every now and then. All right, now we're going from this one, which was day 9, to day 10. So we're kind of almost a third of the way through. This is the first one I was probably really proud of that I did on paper. It was Vampire. And this one has 1, 2, 3. Well, it's got 10 bats, okay? It's got 10 bats. I did use the Copics on this one. I actually did a digital version of this first to completion, and then I completely from scratch did this one because I wanted to make sure I got it right. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the way this one turned out. Day 11, Dead Tree. This one I was kind of looking for inspiration somewhere between like The Nightmare Before Christmas and Klimt, the artist Klimt, who does the trees with the curly dead things. Well, they're not really dead, probably. There's the Tree of Life. But anyway, I made it creepy because that's what I do for Inktober. So this is Dead Tree. I hung a little lantern there. I like the lantern. Day 11, Dead Tree. There it is. Day 12, the Evil Unicorn. You might be able to see some of the pencil lines still on this one. I didn't erase them completely. Again, I like to draw creatures. Horses are not creatures that I normally draw, not creatures that I really enjoy drawing all that much, but I mean, come on, who doesn't love an evil unicorn? This one obviously has been up to no good with that mystical, magical horn. Evil unicorn. Look at the look on his face. I kind of like the look on his face. The body is but the head, I like the head of this unicorn. Hanging on the wall. All right, day 13. Lucky 13. And we get the creepy doll. Again, I did this one digitally. What would happen is if I was really short on time, which happens a lot, I could work faster digitally. And so that's what happened on this one. And but that allows me to add color pretty easily as well. So this isn't actually as good as I was hoping it would turn out. I feel like I kind of rushed this one a little bit. I mean, it's a creepy doll, no doubt there, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of these most of these I spent probably around 30 minutes to maybe an hour on, some less than 30 minutes. Last year I spent probably 2 to 4 hours every day almost doing these. I just don't have that time this year because I've got too many other logs in the fire, as they say. So whoops, somehow I forgot about this one. Here is number 14 real quick for you. Alien creature, they say. So this one I did as a live stream, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo doo. I'll stop singing that so you won't hate me doo doo doo. All right, so this is the 15th. I just kind of was doing some basic shark drawings, kind of showing how to draw the tail and the dorsal fin and just some different views. This is a goblin shark. This is just a generic. These are just generic sharks here. Yeah. So this was day 15. Day 16, maybe my least favorite. This is Monster Car. Now, I did this on purpose. I gave myself things that I don't like to draw, that I don't normally draw, that I'm not comfortable drawing. I did this intentionally because for me, Inktober is a challenge. It's a challenge to produce artwork every day. It's a challenge to do something that's a little outside of your comfort range. A lot of these were well inside my comfort range, so I made sure to put a few of them way outside on the border, and this is one of them. I don't draw cars. Not a car guy. Cars are just a way for me to get from point A to point B. I'm not like one of those people that loves cars. If you do, that's awesome, but just not my thing. So I don't draw them, and therefore I find them very challenging and difficult to draw. So those of you that do draw awesome cars, then I think that's really cool, and I don't have that skill. But there's my monster car. Now the Kraken. This is day, what are we on? 16, 17, day 17. Now I draw a lot of squid. I'm going to be honest with you. This was kind of a little bit of a cheat because I could have made this more monstrous rather than just make one eye bigger than the other. But I knew I could pull off a squid really quickly and easily. Now I did like that I used this sort of stippling or pointillism, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you want to call it. Dots to show depth, darkness, three-dimensionality. Yeah, there's my Kraken. I was fairly pleased with him. Now this one I like quite a bit, and I did color this one digitally, and it's even cooler there, I think. I just took a picture of it, used the line work, and then colored it in Procreate on my iPad. This is Medusa, of course. Don't stare at her too long. Oh, I just lost all my audience. They've turned to... No, okay, never mind. But yeah, I really was happy with how this one came out, and I think the colored one is even better because like here, I'm like, is this her lips? Is that her teeth? It's her teeth. Okay, spoiler alert. But if you look at the colored one, it's very obvious, and I added some like cool eyes and colored the snakes and added some shading, and I should have looked at references for these snakes. I mean, they're okay. I work with reptiles. That's part of my job. I'm a herpetology guy. I've looked at literally probably millions, but definitely thousands of snakes, and yet snakes not really in my mental library for drawing. I need to look at references. So this was out of my head. Okay, we're back. I don't know where that cut off, but it was some kind of alert that came through my phone. Thank you, phone. When you record on your phone, you get an alert. Not only does it make a really loud, obnoxious sound, but it also stops your recording in the middle of your recording. So that's there's a little something I learned today. All right, let's just move on. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Go from day 18 to day 19. And this was the Scary Butterfly. Scary Butterfly. This one, I really like this one because it looks like, I don't know, this looks like something to me that would be on the cover of a creepy novel about a serial killer or something. It's just creepy looking, right? It's a butterfly. It's got the tongue, but it's in a mouth. It's kind of torn up. It's creepy. Got the skull looking face. I like this one. I did a little bit of texture work. I like the balance of black and white. These are things I'm learning as I go through. I feel like this year, because I did focus more on these quicker line drawings more, especially as I went through the month, I feel like I did probably improve my skills more overall in that area than last year because I was really focused on that one thing. So to me, that's probably the point of Inktober, is to challenge me and to get better at inking. So Inktober can be whatever you want. I'm not saying that should be what it is for you. I'm just saying that's what it is for me, and this kind of helped me get there. So, all right, next up, we have the creepy clown. So we went from the scary butterfly to the creepy clown. Now, I was sort of happy with this guy. I was going for this big shoe walking towards you, stomping around. I don't know that I really got that right. There's something off in this drawing that bothers me. And, if it was digital, I'd played around with it and tried to fix it. But since it's ink, I can't really do that. But I like the concept. I like the idea. I like the head tilt. I like some of the black and white contrast going on, but something about the composition is just not quite there. And I like the balloon sword with blood on there. Creepy clown. All right, now, day 22, the vampire squid. I wanted to kind of mix Creature Science Illustrated with some scary stuff for Inktober, and I thought, well, what better way to do that than with the completely harmless and benign animal called the vampire squid. What an irony. But anyway, Vampiroteuthis infernalis, aka the vampire squid from hell. These guys are really cool. Look at me. I'm going into science mode. I'm going to talk more about this as a species than I am about the drawing. But they are really cool. They actually eat detritus. These are little, like, things that come out and they are sticky and they pull detritus, which is like dead stuff floating in the water, and they just pull it in and they eat it. So they live in the deep. Their eyes. Now, here's what's interesting. I work with a bona fide squid scientist that is at my place of employment from time to time, and I was speaking to her about this. And here's what's crazy. If you look at pictures of these squid, which they're not really a squid or an octopus, they're their own thing, they always look red with blue eyes. But if you read the description of them, a lot of times it'll say that they're black with red eyes. And I asked her about that, and she said, yes, every specimen she has collected, and she's a squid scientist, she's collected several specimens, are black with red eyes. And she thinks it's kind of just the lighting and stuff, sort of like that stupid dress. You know what I'm... Yeah, don't think about that anymore. Anyway, I like the dots in this one, the stippling, and the squid is a little stretched out, but, you know, it's a squid, so who knows? Who can tell? Who can tell if it's a little off? All right, so that's the 22nd. One of my favorites. This one, Ghost Ship. This is the 23rd day of October. This is one of those cases where something you think is going to go horribly wrong goes fairly right. And so what I did is I inked this out kind of loosely, or penciled it out. No, I think I did the ink first. And then I decided I was going to try and do an ink wash. Well, I learned that this paper is not good for ink wash. Now, it's great. I can color on this paper. It does not bleed through. I paid a little bit extra money for that feature. But the paper just soaked up the water. It dried almost instantly, and it just shriveled up really badly. So I couldn't really smooth out the ink, and I was really getting discouraged. It looked really dark. I thought I'd lost all my detail, but I patiently prevailed, and I added a lot of this white ink on here. Went back with this. This is the ghost I did with this Higgins white ink, which is fairly translucent, but by letting it dry and going over it and then seeing that it lightened up, I actually really like this piece. This is something I did a lot more of last year too, is a lot of washes. This is the only one I did this year. I probably would have done more had it not been for the catastrophe that was this paper. The reason this is taped together is because it was so curled that I had to do that to keep it down. There's actually nothing on there. So yeah, there you go. Now, day 24 was Sugar Skull. So Day of the Dead, little shout out to the Day of the Dead, which is in the end of October and very beginning of November. And we all have a better understanding of this holiday since the movie Coco. I love that movie. But not a scary holiday, actually. A really cool holiday, remembering those relatives who are no longer with us. Really cool idea, concept. And I love the Sugar Skull. So beautiful. So this is my Sugar Skull girl. Very nice, very nice. And then we get, this is another digital one here. This is day 22. Wait, what? Why did this say 24 and this said 20? Did I put these in wrong order? 23. I think I put this on the wrong spot then. Hang on. Bear with me, folks. I didn't go through this and check beforehand. We went from 20, 22, I don't know, something happened. This was probably 21, And then this should have been there. I don't know. It was late in the month. I was tired, getting ready for my cruise. This one I did digitally, so I have a program that allows me to draw in a kaleidoscope. So I drew this, but I really only drew one section, and then it copied it in all the other spots. So it gives you this really cool kind of Mancala kaleidoscope effect. I think it was the 21st. I don't know. This was draw whatever you want. That was the prompt for this one. Draw whatever you want. That's what I wanted to draw. That's what I drew. There's a little octopus there. I don't even know what else in here anymore. I think if you look at the digital one, you can see it's actually a much bigger picture. There's like a dragon there. It's a zombie child, vampire, some tentacles, ghosts. There might be some other things hidden in there. Check out the digital one for more details. Here is 25, back on track. This is Sea Monster. And I wanted to go outside the box, you know. I was thinking about doing like your standard Nessie, but I thought, no, let's do something a little different. So this guy, I don't know, he's kind of hippo-ish, kind of prehistoric, reptile-ish, sort of goldfish, beta tail. I don't know. He's just this is totally out of my brain right here. This is what happens when I unleash my brain. This is the kind of thing that comes out of it. So there you go. I did these, at first it looked like a cow, so I added more white in here. There's some white ink. All right, now, October 26th was the first day of my cruise. Well, technically, we weren't on the cruise, but we were in Jacksonville. So Rotten Pumpkin did this one really fast. This was probably like 10, 15-minute drawing. Not displeased with the way this one came out. It was a little rushed. I was kind of looking forward to this and then kind of rushed through it, but that's all right. I had a great time that day, meeting a lot of fellow cruisers on that group cruise. And here is day 27. This one's the first day I was on the cruise, and I thought, well, what will I have reference material for? Well, I'm on a cruise, obviously cocktail. So this is Deadly Cocktail. I'm really proud of this one. I think this is what I'm talking about, where I'm starting to get my feet underneath me on the 27th day. And getting that, you know, lots of black in here, but some good contrast. You know, I just felt like this one kind of came together. There's a little centipede in there, a razor blade. I missed some, should have colored those in. Maybe a poison ivy leaf, a skull, a dagger, a straw. That should be deadly in and of itself. And then, you know, the bubbles turning into skeleton heads, also known as skulls. And then this one, number 28, Zombie Shark. Now, sharks are something I draw a lot of. So, again, I wanted to do stuff that that I was comfortable with, since I knew I wouldn't have a lot of time on the cruise, and sharks hit that pretty handily. So, but this one I really like, because I feel like I really like the illustration quality. I could see this in a book. Like, I could see this as a diagram, and I don't know why there'd be a book about zombie sharks, but if there was, and there should be, maybe I'll write that book. I don't know. But anyway, I really was pretty happy with how this one turned out. Zombie Shark, day 28. And moving right along, also very happy with this one. Again, didn't spend a lot of time on this one. It was a little tedious with all the dots and stuff. And but I'm real happy with the way this looks. This is the piranha, of course. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty flat view, but again, I could see this as an illustration in a book. Now, I jacked this piranha up just a little bit, just a touch. This is pretty true to form of what a piranha looks like, but I wanted to, you know, cartoonify it a little bit. So it's caricaturized a tiny bit, but not much. They're scary looking fish. Not actually very scary fish in reality. Sorry if I'm dispelling those myths brought to you by major cable networks or movies, but really not that scary of a fish, but scary looking fish. This was my struggle. Dragon. You'd think I'd be able to draw a dragon, but without a reference, I was just really struggling. So I took a step back. I went to a default. I know my seahorses, my sea dragons better. So there's a lot of pencil lines on here. You can maybe even see this faint dragon over here. I do like this one, but again, I felt like I rushed it. I spent so much time on these pencil drawings, then just erased them completely and ended up with this guy. So he's okay. He's all right. It's all right. This is the second to last. Only one more day. Now, we were on the Carnival ship, the Elation, and all the Carnival ships have a Halloween theme, and they have this pumpkin pirate, and the last day's theme was pirate. So rather than draw a standard pirate, I decided to draw Patches the pirate of the Carnival ship. So here he is, and this is I'm pretty happy with this. My only thing about this one is because he's not colored, he feels a little strange to me, because normally if I draw a jack-o'-lantern, I'm coloring these in. Now this one was like a candle was inside, so it was like glowing, but I don't feel like I really captured that very well in this. I did add some like lines for shading and stuff, but I'd like to color this or figure out a way to represent that glow a little better. I probably would have had to do a lot more line work around the outside to really capture that, which I didn't have time to do. But overall, pretty happy with it. So that is the last one of this year's Inktober. Again, you know, anybody that sets out to do Inktober and finishes all 31 drawings, that in and of itself is quite a feat. And it's definitely a disciplinary kind of challenge, and I'm pretty happy with it overall. Some of my drawings are not great. That's okay. That's not the purpose of Inktober. It's more about the action than it is the product. Now the product is important, but the action is probably, for me, for what I'm trying to gain, it's probably more important. So I got some good drawings out of here. Some I like more than others. Not as detailed and as good as some of my drawings I did last year, admittedly so, but I'm pretty happy overall. So if you are happy with this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Leave some comments below. Which one was your favorite or least favorite? Or tell me how to make these eyes look like they'll glow better and just line work. But and also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so that you know every time I post a new video here on Creature Science Illustrated. Also, I go live most Tuesdays around 7:15, 7:30. I believe that may be wrong. 8 o'clock. I think it's 8 o'clock. About 8 o'clock, I usually go live. Sometimes a little bit before that, though. So check around 7:45, 8 o'clock for me to go live before my friend Tony, who is my co-host on the Cruise Geeks podcast I do. He has a YouTube channel called Lolita Loca, and they do their live show. It's kind of the pre-show for that. So look for those. That bell notification will tell you when I go live. Sometimes I go live randomly outside of that, as well as doing other stuff. And make sure you go over to the Facebook group, join that so that you can see other people's artwork. And by all means, if you create art, and I hope that you do, you can submit it over there and you will get lots of people to observe it. And we don't do any mean critiques. If you want critiques, we will give you positive, constructive critiques. Otherwise, we will just give you thumbs up and admiration for creating stuff. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with me. Have a fantastic week. Until next time, bye-bye.